Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on another episode of Meet You at the Top podcast with your hosts, with the most, Magda Wolski and
Elphi Bolombo. Today we have the sweetest soul. I can't even tell you guys enough about this woman. She is amazing. She's not only a spiritual teacher, but she's also a healer. This is Mrs. Alexis Candice Williams.
Thank you guys so much for having me today.
it's great to have you here. Of course, I feel like therapy is like a massive topic, especially going on in today's world.
Yes.
But we kind of want to get down to what brought you here. I know you went to school for psychology and hypnotherapy. What spiked your interest in, I guess, the umbrella of counseling?
Yeah, amazing. Thanks for that question. So my journey started near the end of when I was in university. So I went to university for psychology and health studies. I just went for what I was interested in.
Right.
And then I was in the process of applying to become a naturopathic doctor. And in the last year of my university time, I was having a lot of anxiety. I had a lot going on in my life at the time, in different areas. And I knew that I needed support. I just wasn't pulled to the mainstream way. I knew I was looking for something a little bit different, and it's not to knock the mainstream way of therapy at all. I just was looking for somebody to go a little bit more with me in terms of spirituality. So I just was asking around. I was talking to people that I knew, and one of my close friends, she introduced me to a spiritual counselor, and I had one session with her, and that was it. I continued with her for years after, and the way that she changed my life, I got my anxiety under control, changed who I was as a person, and I completely changed the trajectory of what I wanted to do after university.
I love that.
Amazing. Yeah. And one thing that people probably don't know is Alexis is actually one of my spiritual counselors.
Yes.
From the minute I met her, we instantly, our energies just synced, and I knew for sure she was somebody special. Alexis, in terms of that, would you say that you have to connect with your clients, or are there ever any clients that you feel like this is somebody I don't want to work with?
Yeah, for sure. Of course. Like we're being honest on this podcast.
Absolutely.
There have been, but I always just believe that your right people will come to you, and the people that aren't supposed to be with you will organically fall away. So I can't say I've ever really turned someone down. I just will say, this is exactly what I do. I'm very clear about what I do and how I work. If I feel like I can help you, then I will. And if I feel like I can't, or there's somebody else that would be a better fit, then I always direct people in that direction instead. But honestly, I've had amazing luck. I don't know if I want to call it luck, but I always have found myself to be in the presence of like beautiful people who are just wanting to grow, heal, ascend in their own ways.
Right.
So I can't really say anything bad in that area.
Beautiful.
I'm always setting the intention to connect with the people that are for me.
That's important.
Yeah.
I love that. And how would you say that you worked on growing your intuition and developing that, being able to tap into your higher self? Because I know that's some of the things that we've worked on together.
Yeah.
What can you say about tapping into your higher self and, getting to where you want to be?
Great question.
I would say the first thing is self-awareness. So I feel that a lot of people are like, oh, I want to develop my intuition and I want to have psychic abilities and gifts, but you can't have that. You can't have that, what some people call second sight. You can't have that high intuition unless you are very honest and self-aware of yourself. Because if you're not honest with yourself, how are you going to see the truth of other people?
Ooh.
Right?
Get that tatted on me.
Right? So I have clients who come to me for that. They're like, I just want to develop my intuition. I want to be in touch with my higher self. And I'm like, you are always in touch with your higher self. You are your higher self. We are also our younger selves. We are multidimensional. We have so many layers. And so I do take my clients through that process where we usually go through meditation. We connect with your higher self, and your higher self is simply the version of you that you truly came here to be.
Right.
And nobody else can tell you who that is. You already know who she is.
Right.
As soon as you close your eyes and I say to you, 1, 2, 3, envision your higher self, she'll come to you. She's she's the healthiest, most successful, most vibrant version of you.
Yes.
And so what I tell my clients is stop thinking that she's so far outside of you or she's so far away, that part of you. She's right here with you all the time. Step into her now.
Yeah.
Be her now. Right? And so be her now, be your higher self, and then be honest with yourself, all of your good and quote unquote bad parts. And the more honest you are with yourself, then the clearer your intuition will come through to you in all areas of your life.
And why do you think people stray away from the highest self, or why do they feel like they need to re-seek it again? You know, what's grasping them away from achieving that?
I would say it's the world we live in.
I'll tell you that. That's right. Yeah.
Maybe not the whole world we live in, but I would say definitely our culture.
Right.
I don't feel that our culture cultivates or encourages us to embody our higher self.
Wow.
A lot of industries don't make money off of healthy people.
Right.
True.
Don't make money off of confident people.
Oof.
A lot of industries make money off of insecure and unhealthy people.
Right.
So I just don't think that the media, the mentality of the culture fosters that.
Ooh, I love that.
So another thing that I always say to my clients is quiet the noise. Like, get off of the social media if you have to, turn off the mainstream media. And sometimes it takes you, I don't want to say like isolating yourself, but maybe becoming a little bit quieter in your social life.
Right.
So there's not so many voices and you can hear your own.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm so curious about, you know, being a spiritual healer. From your perspective, do you believe that this is something that is innately with a gift, or is it something that's taught to be a spiritual healer for others?
I think both. I think some people really are just born like this, and they always are kind of taken into situations and meeting people that elicit those gifts from them, or that healing nature from them. And then I also believe that if one day you develop an interest in healing others or in wanting to understand healing modalities for yourself, then it's always available to you.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's
So basically everyone has that intuition within themselves. They just need to learn how to hear it and block out the noise.
yeah, we all have it. You hear it in everybody's language.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times men will say, I just had the gut instinct. That's your intuition.
Yeah.
People will say, I felt the vibe. The vibe was weird, you know?
Yeah.
The vibe was weird.
Oh,
it was
felt that a
off.
few
The
times.
energy was weird, you know? That's all of that is intuition. So a lot of people think, you know, how do I cultivate my intuition? You have it all the time. You just don't know. You don't know it.
Yeah.
You don't know that voice. Yeah, you're not listening.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think too, even from our sessions that we've done in the past, my own intuition, and I can speak from experience, has grown so much so that now I listen to it. Even if I don't understand it, I'm listening, okay? Because every time I have listened, it has steered me right. Anytime that I have doubted it or have not listened, boy, you know?
Turmoil.
So
you see that.
Yeah. So I definitely resonate with that. Crazy.
Yeah. Do you feel like more men or women come to you as a client to seek guidance?
For me, women, just because that's who I take.
Oh, okay.
But I do find that, how do I explain this? Men are seeking this work. Men are seeking this work in terms of like diving deeper into what does it even mean to be a spiritual being or to have a spiritual relationship with myself. I don't feel like there's a lot of avenues and resources for men as there is for women. So for me personally, because that's what's in my energy field and I'm giving out, like I help women, I heal women. That's who comes to me and who's attracted to me. But I do see that there is a big need in the spiritual healing arena for more men to help other men.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for those that are listening and watching, what are some of the services that you do?
Good question. So I've been changing a lot of the ways that I do my services over the last year just because I've been evolving. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily believe in staying one way all the time or for so long. Because I teach this work all the time, I also have to be doing the work. So right now I would say I'm in a transitionary period. But I do take one-to-one clients. That's mostly what I do right now. And in order to work with me, I ask that we work together for at least 3 months. So I used to take single session clients, and it would be very stop and go. Right. I feel that it takes about those 90 days for us to dig really deep into the root problem of things. I'm really not for finding things out on the surface. Everything you need is, there's a root level to everything that's going on in your life. There's a root level to everything that you want to explore or change. So the one-to-one work that I do, I'm really passionate about that. That will never change. Right now I'm teaching a class called Money and Pleasure.
Okay.
Elphi likes both of those.
The class I'm teaching right now is called Money and Pleasure. Mm-hmm. But really what it's about is it's about having... it's about your root chakra and your sacral chakra. Mm-hmm. So it's about women healing those two parts of their energy centers in their body. If you don't know what a chakra is, that's what it is. It's an energy centers that run through your body. And those energy centers are connected to every single area of our life. So the first two chakras of the body are connected to our basic instincts, if we feel safe in the world, if we trust our surroundings. And then the second chakra, which I teach about, which I would call like the pleasure center, is just all about women's ability to feel creative, passionate. How safe do they feel in their sexuality? How sensual do they feel? I feel like once women have those two areas down, like they are secure in their money, right? And they allow themselves to have pleasurable experiences. Doesn't always mean in a sexual way. Yeah. Just allowing yourself to receive the things that you want in your life, ask for the things you want in your life, speak up for yourself, advocate for yourself. If you have those two things down, then I feel like everything else can just flow way better. So that's one thing I'm teaching right now. And then I haven't really announced this publicly yet, but you know.
Okay, exclusive. You're gonna get it here first. This is an exclusive at Meet You at the Top podcast. I'm just saying, okay?
But I just recently opened myself up to the world of mediumship. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. So that has been really amazing and interesting. I knew I've always had this ability. I just pretended like I didn't. Mm-hmm. But in the last few months, can't really ignore it anymore. So over the course of 2023, that's something that I'm going to be opening up for a new service.
Beautiful.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. So when you say mediumship, does that include tarot as well as hypnotherapy, or what does that entail?
So mediumship is when you can speak to people who have passed away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
She said, wow.
Yeah, do you want to sip right now? You need a sip?
Let me take a shot. Wow. I didn't even know that. This is a real exclusive, guys, okay?
Yeah, I really haven't told anybody.
Congratulations.
Yet. It's something that I'm just cultivating within myself right now and really understanding how the gift and the ability works. Yeah. But it's time. I can't really ignore it anymore. I know it's been happening in my life, but yeah, it's it's a new level. Yeah.
Yeah, new levels. That's what we're all about. Okay, we're meeting at the top here. Yeah. I'm dead. Okay, so what do you say? Because honestly, for me, I have a good relationship with God, and that's important to me. Yes. And prior to meeting you, I have never sought out anyone that does anything similar to what you do. And of course, they don't do it the way that you do it, which is why I chose you.
Thank you.
But in terms of that, how would you say that to those people who are afraid or have a limited beliefs, or like they're not open-minded to those type of things? Because I wasn't until I met you. It's only because it was you, which is why I kind of ventured into that. What do you say to people who
believe it.
Don't believe in it, or who maybe criticize it and say it's not godly, whatever that means to them. What do you have to say in terms of those misconceptions?
I get this question often.
Yeah.
And I call myself a spiritual teacher because I believe that everybody is a spiritual being. Doesn't matter what religion you believe in. That's your choice, and that's beautiful. I feel that everybody should have a faith in something, whatever that is for you, God, divine, Allah, anything, whatever that means to you. So to work with me, it doesn't matter what religion you believe in. Obviously, I tell people I don't want you to work with me if you're going to feel uncomfortable the whole time.
Right.
We need to feel safe together. So if I'm starting to touch on things that you're not feeling safe with or making you feel uncomfortable, we don't have to go there at all. So for some of my clients, we're just talking. We're just doing counseling together.
Yeah.
And we're not touching any tarot. I'm not going to do any type of mediumship with them. We're not going into intuitive readings, nothing like that. But in terms of it being, I don't know, what do you want to use as the word, like taboo? What am I really teaching about? I'm teaching about how to have access to the fullness of you. Right?
They don't want you to know that.
No, they don't want you to know that. And that's for anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not, and I feel that it has to do 100% with your intention. So my intention as a healer and as a teacher is I want you to be your most expansive self. I want you to be your most successful self. I want you to be completely confident in who you are. And so whatever modality I have to use that I have the ability to do to help you get there is what I will use for you. But I'm not doing any type of like weird stuff. We're not doing potions. We're not in a seance, nothing like that. I will speak directly on tarot cards though. Because I know that some people do get a bit weird about that. Tarot cards are just cards. That's all they are. Paper with pictures on them. But the way that tarot cards were made, if you look into the history of them, is they were painted or printed with the idea of different archetypes of the human mind and the human psyche. So what the tarot cards show is different things that each of us and patterns that each of us go through in a lifetime or as humans, different experiences. So for example, one of the cards in the tarot deck is the Fool card. Okay. The Fool card from a symbolic perspective just represents leaping off of the cliff and going into a new adventure. There's another card. It's the Four of Wands, and it's showing two people and children celebrating in life. That's a card of coming together, building a home together. Like these are all just images of different areas of life that we all can experience and have the ability to experience in life. And no matter what religion you believe in. So I think people make it into something else that it's not. And I think that what comes through in terms of a tarot reading has to do with the intention of the reader and the intention of the person who wants to be read. If you're there wanting to know like all kinds of things about other people and place ill intentions to other people, that can be done whether you have tarot cards in front of you or not.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
I love that.
And for anyone who's listening or watching, I would definitely encourage them to be more open-minded, because at the end of the day, like you said, it is the intention. So whoever you're going to seek that healing, make sure that their spirit sits well with you.
That's right.
And yours.
Absolutely.
That's amazing advice. Yeah.
And that kind of leads me to my next question. Alexis, do you believe in souls? Does a soul exist?
Yes, 100%. I believe that. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so when you deal and you have your sessions with your clients, do you feel like you're tapping into the soul or a part of the brain when we're kind of working through issues, problems?
My focus is on their soul. Yeah. So I want to know what's going on a soul level. I want to know where you're headed on a soul level. What does your soul need? Another thing that I, like you said earlier, I do hypnotherapy. And the reason I do hypnotherapy is because I believe it's one of the easiest ways to access the mind. Sometimes I feel like our mind is one of the things that keeps us separated from our soul at times.
Yes.
Not that you can separate from your soul, but you know what I mean? Like kind of the ruminating thoughts, the anxiety, the negativity kind of keeps us separated from who we truly are on a soul level.
Interesting.
So I work with both, I guess, to answer your question.
Right.
I work with the mind and the soul, but at the end of the day, my job and my intention is always to direct you to the truth of your soul.
Amazing.
This question just came to me as we were speaking about souls. And I think it's something that's talked about a lot when it comes to Hollywood, for example. Do you think that people can actually sell their souls?
That's a good question.
I know, it just came to me.
Okay.
Or do you think that when people do certain things that are not aligned with their true calling, that's a way of selling your soul without actually transacting? I don't know how it works.
Yes, like that's another thing. I don't know how exactly it works. My simple answer is yes. I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but I do believe that that's possible because I feel like right now we're seeing it a lot, especially when a lot of people are talking about what's going on in Hollywood right now, what's going on with the elites right now. Like there's so much happening. Can you sell your soul? Yeah, I believe that your soul knows what you're here to do. It's very evident. The people outside of you can also see. Like, you can just see in people, like, she's not on the right path. Like, obviously everybody has their own perspectives of what you should be doing with your life. But at the end of the day, I feel we can all kind of tell if a person's going in the right direction or not. And I feel somebody will sell their soul if they just continuously are going against what they are here to do.
Right. That's like me when I used to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you guys. When I used to work a 9 to 5, I try to explain this to my mom, my family, until my sister was like, I get it. No matter what I did, even if it was a great job, investment firm,
Didn't matter.
HR, whatever it was, I felt like my soul was dying. So in a way, to me, that's like, I'm not trying to sell my soul to these companies for what? A salary, whatever. But that's kind of how I felt. Like, dang, I feel like I just don't want to wake up. I don't want to do this if this is what I'm heading to, Yeah,
well, that's a great thing that, like, an example of what you just said. You don't want to wake up. That's a good example of a time when you're selling your soul. So you're selling your soul for that paycheck.
Right.
And the idea of selling your soul is when you continuously are taking actions against what your soul is here to do. So if your sole purpose is to be, I don't know, like, let's use like a crazy example, like your sole purpose is to run an orphanage and save children's lives, right? But every single day you're scared to take that step because you don't know what it looks like, and you're in a job 9 to 5 that you hate and don't want to wake up to every day. Now you're depressed. Now you don't go outside. Now you don't want to talk to anybody. It's the further and further away you're coming from your soul's purpose.
Ooh.
But I also think there are some people who are literally selling their soul, like, in evil ways also.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. We stay away from those people.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty interesting, the hypnotherapy part of it. And I feel like a lot of viewers and watchers will obviously have some questions in regards to kind of how it all works.
Yeah.
What is the process like? I'm sure it's not a little clock and dangling in front of the head.
No.
What is that process kind of like?
Yeah. So a lot of people will think, oh, hypnotherapy, like when you see somebody at a show and they're just out of control of their body. That's not the case. I don't want to talk against that form, but in terms of what I do, I just use hypnotherapy as a way for people to get away from their logical mind and access a deeper level of their subconscious mind.
Love that.
Because the majority of our actions and our behaviors and our habits are from our sub or unconscious mind. So if you are having trouble dropping an addiction, if you're having trouble getting out of a certain way of behavior that you don't want to do anymore, but you've really just been trying all kinds of things and it's not working, that tells me that there's a deeper layer happening on the root level in the mind. So hypnotherapy is just another tool.
Right.
So what happens is while we're awake, we are in we're in beta waves in our brain. Okay. And then when I do hypnotherapy with you, it's essentially just me guiding you into like a very deep meditation.
Interesting.
You have complete awareness and control over your body.
Okay.
But you will relax, you will be calm, and then you go into a meditative state. And the deeper you go into a meditative state, you'll usually hit alpha waves in the brain, which kind of relaxes the logical mind, and now you're into your imagination. This is where you could start to experience just deeper into your imagination. Okay. And then if you really let yourself relax into the hypnotic state, I guess you want to say, or the meditation, then you'll access theta waves. And theta waves is really where the magic happens, and you can start to rewire and reprogram the brain.
Yes.
So if you're completely relaxed, and then I'm saying to you, okay, where is the part of you that feels unworthy? Okay, where is it? All right, how old were you when you developed this belief?
Wow.
And you would be surprised. People find it. People know the exact moment it happens. We talk, and then once they come out of the hypnotic state, we talk about it, we heal it. Sometimes there can be a huge emotional release.
Of course.
And then you can do something about it. But when it's just sitting there in the unconscious mind, it's this unworthiness, for example, is running your life. You're unworthy to have money. You're unworthy to have a healthy relationship.
Right.
You're unworthy to pursue your dreams, all these things.
Okay. And touching on rewiring your mind and your brain, I know you had introduced me to Dr. Joe Dispenza and his amazing work. And I can go on and on about his work and what he does. But in terms of rewiring your brain to kind of benefit you in furthering you closer to your purpose, what are some tips that you can give our viewers and listeners on rewiring your brain? Like, what are some of the steps that they should take to achieve this?
That's a good question. Definitely meditation. That's first and foremost. And meditation does not have to be 1 hour chanting.
Right.
Meditation can be different for everybody. It's just a period of time that you commit to quieting your mind. For some people, that can be walking in nature. So some people can't sit on the pillow for an extended period of time. There's just way too much happening, right? So if that's you, then what I suggest is like just time in nature, like put your phone on quiet. It's just you and your thoughts, and allow your mind, like set the intention that you would like your mind to quiet down. Another great way is guided meditation. So set yourself on a guided meditation anywhere on YouTube, or there's lots of apps you can use.
Right.
But there's just so many studies and so much literature that shows the power of meditation and how it can physically change the physiology of your brain.
Yeah, it can heal cancer.
Yeah.
I believe in that from the studies that I've read.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
So yeah, meditation first and foremost. I also believe that everything you're consuming on a daily basis and your food, stuff like that, the people in your life, do you have people in your life that speak life into you or continuously put you down?
Right.
I know it's a bit of a touchy subject, but sometimes I've told my clients before, I don't really care if it's what family member it is.
Okay.
Like if they're, you know, some people are like, blood is thicker than water. Like sometimes your biggest bully is your parent.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
So you're just going to continuously take abuse even into your adult years, especially when it comes from a parent or like a close sibling. Your brain is like a flower, and you're trying to heal your brain in toxic soil. It's not going to work.
Damn.
Right?
Deep.
Yeah. So there's that. Meditation, being in healthy environments and having healthy people around you are really, really important ways to heal your brain. And then, like I said, hypnotherapy is also a great option.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hey,
So thank you for that, Alexis.
You're welcome.
What we're going to do is play a little quick game with you. It's called Sip or Spill.
Let's do it.
We'll be asking some questions.
Okay.
You do have a variation of shot glasses in front of you with some mystery liquid. If you don't want to answer any of the questions, or if you don't know how, you just take a little shot. Elphi will start us off.
Okay, let's see. Let me pick.
Be nice. Be nice.
Here, okay? Okay, so what is the most common problem your clients come to you about? Let's talk about it. I'm joking.
Like very generally, I would say anxiety. But anxiety is when the soul and the mind are not in sync and not communicating. Or anxiety can be when you are focusing too much on your future.
Ooh.
Anxiety is just a form of trying to control what's going on in your life.
Amazing. Now, have you, and that's massive, because I feel a lot of people deal with anxiety.
Yeah.
And just making that mind to soul connection is pretty enlightening. Have you ever used your powers for your personal gain? For example, maybe a love connection or...
Okay. We want to know.
Yeah, for sure. But I have definitely used my psychic abilities. I've definitely pulled cards on these on every topic of my life.
Yeah.
However, and this is for everybody to understand, you cannot use your abilities or powers, kind of just a general rule in the healer community. You cannot use your powers against somebody else's free will. That's when it gets messy. That's when karma starts getting involved.
Interesting.
So it's like, if you want to kind of like tap in and feel into what's going on or feel the energy, sure. Yeah, I've done that before. But I don't believe in setting the intention for somebody to like change or be
like manipulating somebody.
Nothing like that.
Yeah,
No,
that's awful.
No.
Okay, so our next question is, do you feel like your profession has helped or hindered your potential in seeking a partner?
Ooh.
You know, we keep it real. We want to know the good stuff. Give it to me.
No. No, it actually just makes me more selective because my line of work is a bit different. Yeah. It's a bit taboo. Maybe it has, and I don't know. Yeah. Right. But from my perspective, I'm just very aware of if I feel like this person is going to be open to that and open to the growth of like how this career could go. Like I just said to you, I completely opened up my ability to mediumship. That's not something that can always be easy for somebody else to handle. Right. So I've always decided to make sure that I'm with somebody who can accept those things about me. And I'm very upfront about it from the beginning. This is who I am. This is what I do. You like it or you don't. Right?
Take it or leave it. And I guess this kind of goes hand in hand. What are some of the reactions you get when individuals find out you do practice mediumship or hypnotherapy or, self-healing in that aspect?
It's literally the same every time. Ooh. Like whether it's good or bad.
Can you read my hand?
Yeah. Ooh. And then there's always like followed with that, like,
curiosity.
What do you feel from me? That's usually the next question. Yeah. Yeah. Mostly just curious.
Okay.
Or some people are like, oh, don't read me. I'm like, I'm not. Like
it doesn't work like that, babe.
But honestly, like generally just curious.
Right.
Interested, curious. A lot more now.
Right.
It's changed a lot. Like when I first got into this line of work and just this way of being, this is over like 11 years ago now. So it's changed a lot since then.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I just got to ask this because, I just met you in person. What do you think of me? What are your first impressions of me?
Magda.
She's put on the spot.
Read me, please.
She said, I want that free reading. I'm joking.
You have a very interesting energy. Ooh. And honestly, before I even met you right now, I felt like I was tapping into your energy before I even got here.
Ooh, goosebumps.
And I don't know if you're planning to move or you're thinking of moving or you're traveling soon. I know those are two different things, but I just felt like your energy was elsewhere. Like you were thinking of being elsewhere or going elsewhere.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
But even just like for yourself, it's very important for you to explore different places for your career.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I love that. Elphi?
Yeah.
Can I get a read too?
This is good stuff.
So I guess I don't know if that really answers your question.
No,
like,
absolutely.
no, I feel great
Bang
with you.
on.
I feel super comfortable with you. Your
Amazing.
energy is beautiful. You make people feel comfortable right away, and I like that a lot.
Yes.
Like not stuck up, not like you don't really have like this wall around you. Just make people feel comfortable.
I love that.
And like ambitious, and I like
Yes,
that a lot.
that's
Thank
why.
you, Alexis.
That's why she makes a great partner.
Yeah, I agree. Good job, Elphi. Good
You know,
picking.
I know how to pick them. I know how to pick them. I don't know about the men though. I'm just kidding. I'm totally just kidding, guys.
I love you, Elphi.
Oh my god.
Thank
okay.
you for that.
You're
I love
welcome.
That. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
That was amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay. What are your thoughts on relationships in this generation,
Yes.
cheating culture, and
Okay,
Wow.
no.
I know.
No. One question at a time. What you're asking me is like 18 questions in one.
Okay, what are your thoughts on relationships nowadays? You know, I've been calling you a couple times. Okay, let's keep it real. It's tough to find a great partner.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, I'm erasing that from my mind. We're removing
Cancel,
it.
delete.
It's easy. Cancel, delete.
Cancel, delete.
Yeah.
I believe it's just all about being the vibrational match for that person.
100%.
I believe that it's about being in the places you're supposed to be to meet that person.
Yes.
And I believe it's about believing.
Right.
So if you just have this negative belief that there are no good men, that all men cheat,
Right.
that you know, my husband is never coming, that's exactly what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot simpler than we think. It's just all what we put out in our energy field.
Yes.
I agree with that 100%.
It's all about what we put out in our energy field, and then on top of it, it's all about being, I feel like, open to that possibility. So for example, follow your intuition.
Right.
So if one day you know, your intuition says to you, like, I always go to Starbucks, but today I feel like going to Aroma Cafe. Like, I'm just using a random example,
yeah.
you know, but you're like, no, that's weird. Like, why would I go there? Your husband's there.
Yeah. I'm running.
I'm running. Like, maybe you don't know. So there's a lot of, it's easy, but there's a lot of different factors to it. I just think that we make it really challenging when it doesn't have to be. And I also believe that the moment we meet somebody, we're already vetting them to be our husband or wife.
Right.
But I feel like if you kind of take the pressure off of it and just how about you enjoy learning a new person
Yes.
and then let it flow naturally.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Learn
I
a
love
person.
that.
And you never know what can happen. That might be your husband, or it could be like the next best investor in your business. You don't know.
Absolutely.
But because you're only looking for one thing and you're trying to
right.
control the situation, you cut yourself off from so many different opportunities, avenues, and relationships.
So true.
Right.
You just made me look at a couple of things differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Wow.
I think a lot of people, they feel like, you know, love will come to me. That's this other side of the spectrum. Love and relationships take work. You know, you have to put in the work into yourself. I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I'm in a very happy relationship right now.
Okay.
But I will say,
Exclusive.
no, he's amazing. But I remember my mindset before I met him, and it took a little bit of rewiring of my brain to let that type of love in.
Right.
That's not the type of like. If you envision the type of man you want to be with, like, let me tell you, it's not going to be that guy.
Okay,
It's
let's
gonna-
talk about
man,
that.
I got a whole list.
Yeah.
Women have these standards in their mind, like he needs to be 6'5", brown, you know, has to brown hair,
Yeah.
you know. There's so many specifications,
Elphi, what?
and I think you're boxing yourself in when
Yeah.
you do that, because
Absolutely.
your man that loves you unconditionally and provides for you might be blonde hair, blue eyes, and 6 feet. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
1,000%.
I'll take the 6 feet though. As long as it's 6, okay?
Please. No, there's no. Obviously, you want to have standards, but I don't think we should be so nitpicky as to who your partner should be because you don't know that.
Let's talk about it. I want to hear Alexis.
I'm glad you brought up that point of, and that, I guess that's kind of what I meant. Like, allow yourself to experience people.
Absolutely.
Because you never know. And I do agree with you that that person that is your partner, your life partner, might not be the
cookie cutter.
Like the package that you thought he was going to come in. Right. So what I say and what I tell like my girls that I work with is write a very, very specific list. Not of like the credentials, but the feelings. Write a list of like the feelings that you want this person to elicit from you.
Yes.
Calmness.
Amazing.
How about as women, we start with finding men that make us feel calm.
Love that.
Safe, calm, laughter, those things, right? And then also write experiences you want to do with this person.
Amazing.
Yeah, that you guys share similar experiences, you want the same things. And then I feel that like that person, whatever they look like or wherever they're coming from, can come to you easier.
Absolutely.
Because you're putting out that energy.
Okay, what about deciphering between, okay, I'm going to learn and experience this person versus wasting your time?
Okay. One, I'm just going to speak for as a woman. I believe that women know. And then they'll either push themselves past their limit or wait because you're worrying that what you really want won't come outside of this person. So I think a good idea is to have a limit for yourself and to know, like, have certain markers. Okay, I just started dating this person. I've been experiencing him. And this is it's for a heterosexual relationship. I've been experiencing him. He feels really great. Now we're 3 months in and like we're still just experiencing each other.
Yeah, what are we doing?
So if you are wanting something serious, speak up for yourself and say you want something serious. But I'm all for speaking up from the very beginning.
Right.
And that's another way not to waste time.
Right.
Be clear from the very beginning. We're like, why are we tiptoeing? Adult to adult. What do you want? What do I want? Right. Do we want the same things?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying to interview on the very first date, but like be open together.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay living in Canada?
Right.
How about we start there?
Nope.
Like,
hell no.
do you want like have the kids conversation sooner than later?
Absolutely.
Don't waste time. If he doesn't want to have kids, no problem. But you do. So let's move along before we get deeper into it, before we create more memories, et cetera, et cetera.
I think people really, they feel like there's like a playbook or like rules that you have, like you wait to ask these certain type of questions at a certain period of time. But really in love and in relationships, there are no timelines. There are no, expectations. I feel like you have to let that out right from the beginning. Like I talk about the most serious things. I don't care if it makes him feel uncomfortable. If it does, maybe that's not the partner for me. Right.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, no, I don't like the idea of there being rules.
Right.
I think that there should just be standards.
Love that. Absolutely.
Wow.
Awesome.
What can you tell us in regards to protecting your energy? Is there any tips or tricks that we should be aware of? Because there's some times where you'll be around someone and you're like, damn, you just sucked the whole
life out of me.
The whole life out of me.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. So what are some things that you can tell us about protecting your energy, making sure that, you're not transferring energies with the wrong person and things of that nature?
Well, I think the first thing is, some people are really into crystals. Some people are really into wearing protective things on their body. I really like wearing an evil eye. I love the symbolism of the evil eye.
Me too.
Do I feel like wearing the evil eye will protect you against all evil in the world? No. There's lots of things and factors at play, but The first thing I always say is don't rely on anything else to protect you except for you. And I also don't like staying in the energy of needing to protect, because when you're feeling like you always need to protect, that's sending out the energy that there's always something bad coming.
Right.
Ooh.
Right.
So instead, make sure that your energy is good. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you're well fed, that you're, exercising, your energy is flowing, you're sleeping. Like, that's first and foremost. Make sure that your physical and spiritual hygiene is good. Are you meditating? Are you praying? Are you with your faith? Then the next thing is stop going around people that don't make you feel good.
Right.
And listen to your intuition. If you're going into a place and you already feel like the vibe is off, the people in my life know me. I don't really care. Like, I'm not coming in here.
Yeah, same.
We're not going in there. We're picking like my boyfriend and I were picking a restaurant. We'll go into a place and he knows me well enough by now. Like, I'm like, I don't feel good in here, babe. He's like, all right, I guess we're not going in here. Like,
next.
Okay.
I love that.
I just trust my intuition so strongly that I don't play with it anymore.
100%.
Because every time I have, it never goes well.
Right.
So there's that. That's kind of a way to protect yourself, but that's just you listening to yourself.
Yeah.
And if you want to take it to another level in terms of like how to energetically protect yourself, before you go out, cover yourself in a beautiful white light, so that you're only emitting light from your body, but you're protected.
Yeah.
For some people, that feels like a shield. For some people, that feels like a bubble of light.
Yeah.
If you want to go to that level, right?
I'm always praying throughout my day. If I feel bad vibes, I'm praying. I'm rebuking that.
Yeah. I think it just all has to do with who you're allowing around you and into your life.
Yeah.
And the energy. So even if I'm around somebody who I feel like is really negative, I just kind of consciously tell myself, okay, that's not an energy I want to absorb.
100%.
And then I just make the decision to not ever be around that person again.
Right. My favorite saying is, if you hang around shit, you're going to start smelling like it.
100%.
Amazing. Elphi, do you have anything else that you would like to ask Alexis?
What's one thing before we close off on this podcast? What's one thing that you want to leave with our listeners and our viewers? And then how can they find you?
Oh, so many things. I think the most important thing I would say is don't let anybody else have more power over you or your mind than you have over yourself.
Beautiful.
Like, if you know something is true for you, if you know something doesn't feel good to you, then it just doesn't. End of story.
Yeah.
I think the way that we kind of really get off track is we're listening to so many other opinions and we're listening to so many other voices.
Right.
So do your best to be in the stillness or solitude with yourself as much as you can in healthy ways, and listen to yourself. You have all of your answers.
Amazing.
Wow, you heard that, guys. You have all the powers,
all of the answers,
all the answers you need within yourself.
And if you need help to not help, but like we all need teachers, we all need coaches. For sure. We all it's excellent to seek people who have been there before us, right?
Yes.
So I'm all for that. Obviously, it's what I do. But when you come and work with me, or whoever you choose to work with in this area of your life, it should always be with somebody who is encouraging you to uncover more of you, not to follow and copy their way.
Yes, because you'll get sucked in and it's very hard to get out.
That's right. That's right.
Elphi's passionate
That's right.
about this.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah.
100%. And you can find me at Alexis Candice Williams on Instagram.
Yes.
My website is alexiscandicewilliams.com. And
What's the easiest way to book?
Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Send your DM?
Yeah.
Slide in those DMs?
Yeah, slide in those DMs. Amazing. Everyone, I do encourage you to check out Alexis's page, book, and see if the services that she has to offer is something that you'd be interested in. I want to thank you so much. This has been so informative. So I feel enlightened.
Yes. I feel amazing.
I feel good.
Yeah.
Which
my soul is just
right? And it's all But that's the thing, that's Alexis's energy. Like, it's just so calming, inviting.
Beautiful.
So again, thank you for sharing, you know, all of your wealth in terms of value. I'm sure our listeners will
appreciate it.
It was my
100%.
pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
And it's Meet You at the Top podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you there.
Meet you at the top, yeah. Magda and Elphi on lock, yeah. And they ain't never gonna stop, yeah. Said they gon' meet you at the top. Make sure you tune in and watch if you wanna see us meet you at the